Welcome to the latest video, which is about language and culture, particularly English. What does the English culture and language bring to mind for you? Often if we say English culture versus English language and culture, they can be slightly different ideas, particularly if you say American culture or Australian culture, South African. All these have particular things associated with them. But English language and culture, what do they bring to mind to you? Perhaps it's something similar to what we've got here in the background, this picture of the London buses, or this picture of central London with Big Ben and the big tourist attractions. Or is it something else? Perhaps it's the English sense of humour. It could be something which is ingrained Anglophile or across the world. So this is a kind of open question to see what you guys think. Do let us know in the comments below. Next question, do you think it's essential to understand culture in order to learn a language? So there are many things you can say about this as well. I think you can learn a certain amount of language without learning the culture, but once you get to a certain level, you need to know what's going on. And actually the language itself really is interwoven into the culture. All the words we have, general phrases that we use, the way we greet each other, say thank you, they're already saying a lot about the people who use this language. So it's another question for you to think about. Is it necessary to understand culture? Maybe you don't need to know everything about what is popular, music, TV, history. You might not need to know all these things, but you do need to know a certain way about how people interact with each other, their behavior. If you're able to understand this at a deeper level, then you're going to find it much easier to use the language as you progress. Which brings us to the next question here. Language and culture, are they inextricably linked? And this means that you can't really have one without the other. They cannot exist by themselves. This is perhaps a deeper question about philosophy. Is it possible to have a language on its own? I know we invented a new language called Esperanto. Perhaps this is devoid of culture or separate from culture. But traditional languages which have built up, do you think you can really have one without the other? And culture as well, is it possible to have a culture without a language? Which is another interesting question about perhaps early man. Even as we developed, as we evolved from apes, we started to develop this language which enabled us to interact together as groups of people. That's another interesting question. It'd be great to hear your views. You can also view the link which is going to be shown up here, which will show you the group discussion we had about this topic with some fascinating ideas on this question as well. So then at the very least, can we say that cultural background makes learning easier? If we're able to know the culture, something about the culture of the country that we're perhaps visiting or that we're learning about, does that then facilitate our learning? Can we learn more easily, more quickly in that way? It's another question which is linked in together. All these questions are quite linked, but there's a lot of ways that we can explore them. And another quite interesting one, a funny one. Which came first then, the chicken or the egg? In terms of language and culture, which came first? Or is it something like this, did they both develop in tandem with each other, both building on the other one? It's something of a chicken and an egg argument. Which came first? Okay, so that's it for today's discussion. It'd be interesting to hear from you, and again, you can watch this discussion as we held it in our own group by clicking the link here or down below or somewhere around this video. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.